welcome to Never Met a Stranger Whispers of Wisdom podcast with your host, Shawn Williams. How are you guys doing? And how are you doing, Miss Rose?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good, good. Thank
Good.
you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, me and Miss Rose, she was actually a passenger of mine, but first we found out we lived in the same building together. And so we met because we had an event at our building, and I was a vendor there, and I was selling my detox tea. And so she came over, her and her daughter, and they purchased some tea for me. So we just were talking, got a chance to know each other. And so a couple times I actually was her Lyft driver. And
Yes.
so the first time I was her Lyft driver, we talked about a lot of things, and she was telling me her story. And I told her back then, it's been what? That was maybe about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
And
Couple
I
of
said,
months.
a couple months ago, and I
Mhm.
said, Miss Rose, I said, your story is so interesting for overcoming homelessness. And
Mhm.
I told her, I said, I really would love for you to be on my podcast to
Mhm.
tell your story and your testimony about your life and the things that had happened and how you've overcome this. And she was telling me how she wanted to help the homeless. And so I was like, wow, I said, I help the homeless, too. And so we were just talking and we just clicked and never met a stranger. It's like we never met a
Yes.
stranger, and we just click right away. And
Mhm.
so today, Miss Miss Rose is on, and she's gonna talk to you guys about her life and what happened with her. How she became homeless and the things that she did to overcome, and just other issues and things that she's done that can help anybody out there that has been going through that or know somebody that's been through homelessness or just issues in life. We're gonna talk about that. Right
Mhm.
now, she's gonna talk about. So, Miss Rose, how did you overcome it? Or let's go back. What happened, with you growing up? Tell me something about a little bit, tell everybody a little bit about your
Well, it's
background.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
I grew up. I was born and raised there. I come from a broken home. Um, there was a lot of abuse back then with my mom.
Yeah.
Uh, I left home at the age of 16.
Okay.
Stayed with my sister, one of my oldest sisters. From there,
It's
excuse me.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
From there,
It's okay. It's okay.
mm,
It's okay.
from there, I got into drugs, alcohol,
Yes.
and on and on. It went to more abuse, not just with my mom, with every guy that I dated.
Yeah.
There were a lot of abuse. So, and even when, as I got older, I was always homeless. Seemed like I just never kept a roof over my head because of
The traumas and
before the trauma,
yeah.
the abuse
Yeah.
that I was enduring with the guys that I dated. Um,
Take your time. It's okay.
I so sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Take your time. It's okay.
I I'm kind of froze.
That's okay. It's okay.
I have a daughter.
Beautiful daughter.
I have a daughter. One child. So I had to get my life together because of her.
Yes.
I had to take care of her. There were many times that I've almost threw in the towel and gave up. A lot of times I tried, but
Yeah.
God wasn't ready for me yet.
That's right. That's right.
So I
He
I
been
kept
with you
going.
this whole time.
I kept going.
Yeah.
I kept praying. I didn't give up. As much as I wanted to, as much as I tried to, I didn't give up. I kept my faith in God.
Yes.
I prayed. I went to church every Sunday
Yes.
and I kept praying and I kept praying. But sometimes your prayers may not be answered when you want to, just because he doesn't work off of our
That's
timing. He
right.
works off of his.
Off of his
So
time.
sometimes
Yeah.
it seems like, well, God ain't gonna do nothing because ain't nothing happened yet. That's not true.
Right.
It's gonna happen. You just
Yes.
can't give up.
You just can't
You
give
have
up.
to keep that faith in yourself as well as in Him.
Yes. Right.
So I kept fighting and I kept getting up. As much as I kept falling down, I kept getting up.
Yes.
Most of the shelters that I was in, being homeless, they were mostly for battered women.
Yes.
Uh, a lot of them helped me a lot. They did.
Yeah.
So I know what it's like to not have a roof over your head. I
Yes.
know what it's like not to have food to eat or
Yes.
clothes to put on your back because I've been out there so many times.
Yes.
So I know how it is, and that's why I always give back to those that ask me for something to eat, for those
Absolutely.
that ask me for $1 on the street,
Absolutely.
for those that ask me to buy them something to eat. If I got it, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Or if I don't have it, I'm going to make a way to give it to them.
Right.
And I do. So I know what it's like being homeless.
Yes.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. So what happened with you that got you off the streets or got you what
I was,
take us through that part.
what got me off is what I couldn't see myself raising a child with me living on the streets.
Yes.
I couldn't do that. I didn't want to go to shelters all the time because a lot of them just wasn't good.
Wasn't clean, wasn't safe, you know.
Right, they
Yeah.
wasn't, and but I had to.
But you had and it was just you and your baby.
It was just me and my child.
Yeah.
So being in those shelters taught me to always, excuse me,
Mhm.
to always try to keep a roof over my head because I didn't like living with other people either.
Yes.
That was one of the worst parts of living with family members. And anyway,
We done
I-
all been through, I had to live with my sister a couple times going
did-
through things.
yes.
So trust me, I understand, and it's not a good feeling, especially when you're used to having
Right.
your own and having things. And
right.
So,
So
yeah.
I had to keep constantly working dead end jobs, 2 or 3 at a time, just to keep a roof over my head.
Yes.
I had to do it. I used to cry all the way to the bank because it just wasn't adding up. It was just enough to pay the rent. Sometimes it was just enough to make it to the job the next day or
Right.
two or the next week. But I kept going.
That you kept
I
going.
kept praying.
That's
And
it.
one thing you don't
the
do,
key.
the one thing you don't do, never stop praying. I don't care if your prayer's not answered by next week, still
Keep going.
keep going,
'Cause
keep praying, keep praying.
Keep praying, because a lot of times it's something that we're supposed to be learning
Yes.
about ourselves,
Hmm.
something that we're supposed to be hearing and listening to, and it could be some things behind the scenes that he's doing that we don't even know that he's doing for us.
Right.
Putting things and orchestrating things and putting things in order the way it should be so it can work out for our good.
That's when we supposed to have that little faith or that little mustard
That
seed.
little mustard seed of
That's
faith.
all it takes.
That's it.
That little bit of faith.
That's it.
God works in mysterious
He
ways.
does. He does.
And so now that I've had that experience of being homeless for so many years, I want to give back to
Yes.
the community. I want to give back to those people that are less fortunate than me.
Yes. Yes.
I want to be a voice for them. They,
Yes.
I just want to be there for them. I want to give back to them.
Yep, and that's what we talked about in the car when I had picked you up the first time when I was your Lyft driver. We talked about that, and we were both saying how we wanted to help the homeless and how we
Right.
both done
Yes.
things. And so
Mhm.
you can give a shout out. You can give your information too, and we'll put it up on the screen. Once the show is over. But if anybody needs to reach you and you want to have something, a part in something that people have going on for the homeless, then you can give your information, your website, or your email address, or contact information, so that if somebody's listening, then
Right.
they may have a program, for the homeless, and then you can help work with them. You know,
Right.
everything works in divine
Mm-hmm.
timing and it's orchestrated the way it's supposed to be. And so
Yes.
somebody will hear it and somebody will reach out to you
Mm-hmm. Yes,
some
I
kind of
would
way.
like to volunteer at a lot of homeless shelters to help feed the homeless out here. And I know it's a lot of programs out here and a lot of resources
Yes.
where that we can go, or I can go, or anyone can go to get food, clothing at a lot of these places. But anyway, for me, myself, and my neighbor here, we were talking about getting together, going out, feeding the homeless in the
Yes.
summer,
Yes.
and going out, giving them clothes of stuff. You know, if you have coats and blankets and stuff like that, to donate. Just I will give you my information.
Yes. And we'll post it up on the
Right.
screen. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. And I have a cousin, Estelle Cockcroft. She does it, and she has a I forgot e cares, and so she has clothes and shoes, and she gets
Yes.
food, and everything too.
Mhm.
So that's something that I can
We can
talk to you
probably
about her with her.
partner together.
Yes,
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 that would be fine.
yes, and so
Because I have a lot of stuff to give away myself, clothes and stuff.
so
Yeah.
I'll give you her information, and I'll or get that together with her as well, because she's always looking for things to to help as well.
Mhm.
So so that would be good.
Okay.
Also, I know we talked about you going to therapy and
Mhm.
mental illness and things like that. So tell us a little bit about that. That something that can help
Mental illness.
is real.
It's very real.
It's very
It's
real, and a
very
lot of people
real,
don't
and
want
it
to
stems
acknowledge it.
from being in poverty. Okay, when we're in living in poverty, a lot of time that's where all the mental illness comes from. Uh, Living in broken homes and abusive relationships and
Mhm.
abusive parents. That's where a lot of mental illness come from. Childhood all the way up, or just being abused.
Just being
Period.
abused. Yeah.
So yes, I am currently in therapy myself.
And that is so good.
I still trying to get my life on track,
Yes.
uh, and I think I can do it just by helping others. Right
Absolutely.
now, I think
Absolutely.
for the most part of my therapy, it would be to get out here and help those that been through what I've been through,
Yeah.
or just helping a person that's down, period. Even if it's
Absolutely.
just a conversation, that some just need a hug, some just need somebody to talk to.
Somebody to listen to them.
Right.
Mhm. Exactly. And that's what this show is about. It's
Hmm.
about everybody has a story, an untold
Yeah.
story that needs to be told that can help so many people. Because a
Yes.
lot of people are going through the same things and they think they're by themselves and they're not.
Right.
And they have
Yes.
other people that's been through things. And so sometimes we need partners or people that we can
Right.
talk to, or agencies or different places we can go to
Right.
that we can talk about
Hmm.
things that can help everybody,
Yes.
you know? And
Yes.
so, with that being said, the mental illness was did they say what you have, or did they diagnose you
I'm
with any?
diagnosed with bipolar disorder, PTSD, and anxiety and depression with psychotic features. Um,
Did they put you on anything, or?
they put me on a lot of meds, but it's only few that I take.
Yeah.
I do take my anxiety medication. I do take my medication for the bipolar disorder. Um, it actually
Does it help you, or does it cause it to be worse?
to me, it causes it to be worse. I'm being
Okay.
honest. It does, because you feel like you can't come out of it. It's like pulling you back more and more into a dark hole. The
Mm,
one we trying to crawl our way up out of.
right.
We still can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So Some of that meds, no, I don't take it.
Yeah.
No.
And a lot of it, like you said, prayer will help. Because I know you said once you read in your Bible, it
Hmm.
helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
It helps you to get, all those feelings that you have. It cleanses you.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier about having a clean heart and getting a whole new heart.
Hmm.
And so all of those things, you know, wrapped up into one, it's like you said, it's the traumas and the things that we've been through, but we got to go back and peel the onion back and start going
Hmm.
through those traumas and healing it and being and forgiving. I know I always
Yeah.
talk about forgiveness,
Hmm.
but that's a huge thing to forgive, and we got to go
It
back and,
is.
and, and
It
have an
is.
understanding of what actually happened. Forgive people and forgive situations, because a lot of times people only did what they knew, and it's generational traumas that happened to them, so it was something that happened to us. And so we have to be able to accept that it can't be any different, but be able to still forgive those people in those situations.
But it's hard to forgive someone that literally tortured you, that little that raped you, that poured scalding hot water on you,
Oh
that
my goodness.
stabbed you. It's hard, even
It's
though
hard to
God said, do it for yourself.
yeah,
It's
that's a,
still hard.
yeah, it's still hard. It doesn't happen overnight when you
No, it
want to try to
doesn't. And it
forgive.
doesn't. And sometimes for some people, it takes years
And
and
sometimes
years.
absolutely. But
And for me,
mhm,
I have not forgiven neither one of them yet.
yeah. And
Not
so
even
that's
my
that's
mom, and she's resting in peace. But I did never forgive her either.
and that's something
That's
that
where
we
it
gotta.
started.
That's where it started. That's where it usually started, as childhood traumas. And so what I've learned and just listening to people, I had to start understanding people and look at people through a different lens, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
But hurt people, and it's a cliche, but it's true.
Hmm.
And so when you can look at a person through a different set of eyes of what they've been through,
Yes.
and take ourselves out of the situation and look at it from how, even though they most likely had a mental illness or drug addiction, or
She did
been
have a
hurt
mental
before,
illness,
you
but
know
my dad never said anything. I don't know. I think she was raped a lot as a young lady down south or something.
yeah.
So I don't know what the whole story was, but she never got help.
And so
Um,
she had all of that on her. So
right.
it those, you can call it spirit, you can call whatever demonic,
Demonic.
demonic behavior, because that's not normal,
Right.
that it wasn't her.
Right.
Just like when they say alcohol is spirits, when they call drinking spirits, you're a different person. So if they had something, if she most likely had something on her, it wasn't even her. So that's why I say you have to look at them as they did this to you. And people have done things to us that we have to look at them as, look through what they did and be able to look at it from a
Right.
different lens, as they were a child once before. They wasn't always like that, but life made them that way. We were the
Hmm.
victim of it,
Hmm.
and it hurt us. But when we can look at them and have empathy for them, because they were a hurt person and they hurt us. But
Yeah.
when you can look at them through a different lens, that's where the forgiveness can come from, because you
Yeah.
can have sympathy and empathy for that person. Then
Hmm.
that way you can look at them and actually forgive them, really seriously forgive
Yeah.
them, and knowing that they were a child once before and they went through some things. And then you can look at them and take yourself out of the situation, like I said, and the hurt that we had, and separate the two. Then you can look at them through a lens of, this was a hurt person,
Yeah.
and then we can learn to forgive, because that wasn't really them that was doing that. Just like when a person is on drugs or people on alcohol and things like that, they're doing things that's really not them.
Right.
And so that's the drug or the addiction that's actually doing those things. So you have to
Yeah.
separate the two, because it's actually two different things, two
Yeah.
different, entities, that if you want to say it that way. So that way you can really forgive the person. That don't mean forgiveness means re-entry to
Right.
your life.
Hmm.
But that does mean that you, for yourself, you can begin to heal and forgive, and so your burdens will be lifted off. Then your blessings can come in more. You know what I mean? Because you're blocking them with your heart being so hurt and burdened that there's
Yeah.
nothing that can come in because it's so blocked.
And that's true. And
Hmm.
I don't want my heart to be hardened,
Yes.
because once it turned to stone, that's it.
Right.
So I don't want to. Uh,
And you a beautiful woman. I tell you that all the time. And you're so
Thank
pretty.
you,
So
thank
you
you.
deserve love. You deserve
Right.
somebody that
I don't want
and
to
you deserve
hurt other people
right
because of my past
because of
trauma.
your past
You
traumas.
know, I don't want to do that. And
Absolutely.
sometimes I feel like that's what I'm doing, but it's not. It's just these people that throwing these red flags up, so to
Right.
speak.
Yep. I
Uh,
know exactly.
uh,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
yes.
saying.
Sometimes I sit and is it me? You know, is it really me? But then you start, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. You know,
Right. Right. And
this
then,
person is not right because you know you've been there before so many times. So no, it's not you.
right.
So yeah,
It's putting up those boundaries.
right. I have to put up
You have to
boundaries.
put up boundaries because what happens is what I've learned is if you don't put up boundaries and have self-love for yourself and know what you
Right.
deserve,
That's
you're going to
true.
keep attracting those type of
Hmm.
narcissistic people in your life, whether it's
Hmm.
friends, family, whoever spouses, whatever love
Yeah.
interest. Those you're going to attract what you are. And not to say
Yeah.
that you're that way, but I'm saying you're going to keep attracted till you
They
learn those lessons because you got to
right.
put them boundaries up. So here you get tested again. Here come this person
And it's gonna
that's
be
doing this
tested until you get it
until
right.
you get
And
it
see, I
right, and
got
it
it
takes
right
some
this
time.
time
It
on that
takes some
last one. I got it
time.
right
Right,
because I paid attention to all
all
the
the signs.
signs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And so you're doing good. Like just to come from where you came from and to where you are now, you
Hmm.
know, and you should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. That's a lot. You've been through a
Yeah.
lot, and it doesn't happen overnight. But you have to know the tools to to be able to heal and to be able to forgive. That's like I say that so much because it's so huge on your peace
Yeah.
because can't nobody take your peace away from you and your
Right.
joy and your laughter. You still want to have and pray for those things all the time because if that's gone, then you do have a blocked heart. Then it is hardened. But
Yes.
like God, he said he will. If we were talking about the heart in the car,
Hmm.
we was talking about how the heart,
Hmm.
if it's a damaged heart, it ain't nothing you really can do with a heart and damaged heart. But God can give you a new heart,
Hmm.
renew you a whole new heart. So then you have to look forward to that and look forward to the future on
Yes.
what things can happen. So you
Hmm.
said you want to help the homeless and do things like that.
Yes.
That gives you some hope. That gives you something to look
Hmm.
forward to.
Right.
But you want to get your joy back. You want to get your laughter back. You want to get your
Yes.
peace back. And He will give you those things, but you just have to peel back that onion and forgive everybody in situations, and you got to look at them through a different lens. I know you said the things that you've been through were some traumatic things,
Yeah.
but when you separate and know that that's not that person wasn't really doing that, if you
Hmm.
can look at it in that way and know that it was trauma, but you can forgive them because of the fact that you know that it really wasn't even them that was doing it. It was a whole nother entity. Drugs, alcohol, all those things, you know, plays a part in that.
Yeah.
And you have to do it for yourself. Not for them, like you said, people that have
Yeah.
hurt you and things, they're gone.
Yeah.
But you still holding on to that hurt inside your heart. So you don't even know
Yes.
why you be upset sometimes or mad about things or
I think a
angry
lot
about,
of times. I think a lot of times I be mad at myself because I keep running into the same old thing over and over. I'm not so in a rush to be with somebody.
right,
I had to learn how to live after that last narcissist. Before this one,
right.
I stayed single for 7 years.
Yeah,
7 years, and a lot of times would be so lonely till I would cry.
yeah.
But it was for a reason.
It was for a reason.
I was tired of meeting the same old crap and
Mm-hmm.
dating the same old guys just to say I got somebody in
Just
my
to say
life,
exactly.
and it was always the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Always the wrong thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I learned not to rush into anything anymore. And the thing of it is, God was telling me, He's not, you don't have me in the midst of this relationship, no way.
That's it.
And if He's not there in the midst, in the middle,
That's what you gonna get.
yes,
That's what you gonna get. And so
yes, yeah,
it's a learning, but you learn it. So that's the good thing
yeah.
about it.
I have. I've learned my lesson now. I
Mhm.
think I have after all these years.
Yeah. After all these
I
years,
mean, I'm 64, but listen,
and you look
I've
amazing.
learned. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. But that ain't
Yeah,
old anyway. But you look good.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, but you got to keep your heart open. I had to learn
Yeah,
that for my own mistakes and things that I've been through, divorce and things like that, relationships and things. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. And
hmm
people are asking me, how are you still able to, smile and move forward? Because I forgive. I really
yes,
do. I really forgive because, it takes two.
yes, it
And
does.
and if you stayed in something too long and people weren't honest with you,
Hmm
and playing, mind games like me and you
Yes,
were talking about,
right.
doing all those type of things, then you have to put some responsibility and accountability on your own
Yes,
that you stayed too long. So you don't. So that
yeah,
way you can't point the finger and blame anybody else
right.
because you played a part in staying too long. And
hmm
when when you manipulated and been
Yes.
lied to and things like that.
Manipulation also is another form of evil. It's just another form to me
Yeah, because
of
it's lying.
witchcraft. Yes,
It's
because it's
lying.
controlling.
It's controlling. Yeah.
It's controlling this person to do things and believe things that's not true,
Exactly.
or say things or do things for them that's not true or that's not
Exactly.
good. So to me, it's another form of witchcraft to me.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not being honest, and what they say, the
Right.
devil
That's
is a
just
liar,
yes,
and then
yes
so
he is.
that's what
Yes
basically,
he is. Yes he is.
manipulation is.
It
That's
is. To
that's
me, it
exactly
is.
what it is.
It is.
It that's and
It's an
it's
entity that ugh.
mind control and
Yes.
things like that. And so when you're under those type of things,
Hmm
you want to believe what you want to believe,
Right.
and the lies you want to believe them and things like that. And so, like you said, with prayer, when you
Everything.
kept reading that
Yes.
Bible, reading Psalms over and over again,
Yes.
you
Every
said you
day.
knew that wasn't you. You
I
said you
knew it
knew that
wasn't.
wasn't the Holy Spirit having you do that
No,
because you
that
said
was
you
the
ain't
Holy.
open.
That was the Holy
That was Holy
Spirit
Spirit,
because that
right?
Bible had been closed for a while.
Right, right,
Yes, it did. It was
right,
closed because I always read the Bible on my phone. But
right.
no, they
You picked
said
up
open that Bible, that book.
that book. Open that book.
Open that book. Read a certain scripture, and I did it all day long while he was
Mm-hmm.
around me.
While he was around you.
Yes. And I even went through to, he said, go to this other one, 40th Psalms, go to the 91st Psalms, go to 27th Psalms. First start off with the 23rd Psalm. So
Yeah.
I know the 23rd by heart.
Backwards and forward.
Yes. So I was being prepared.
Yes.
I was shown signs
That's
and
it. Signs and wonders. Yeah.
yes, I
Mm-hmm.
was shown signs and I followed those signs. And it all came together and I understood it
Right.
because the Holy Spirit kept showing me everything I needed to know about what I was dealing with.
What you was going through. Yeah.
And I said, oh my God.
Ain't that
Wow.
something?
Yes.
So he always been there. It just we gotta be
Yes,
open
he
enough
was.
to see it,
Yes.
to receive it,
And pay attention.
and pay attention and take action on it.
Right.
Because you can
hmm
go to church every Sunday. You can go to
Right.
therapy every week. But if you don't
Exactly.
apply it to your life,
Right.
you're going for no reason because you're not
That's right.
growing. You're not
That's
growing
right.
at all. You're not evolving at all.
And I
You
always
know?
ask God, to just show me a sign, help me understand what I'm reading in this Bible, because
Yes.
I was reading from King James version,
Mm-hmm.
so he showed me a lot.
Yeah.
He
If you
showed
ask
me
him,
through.
he'll show you.
He showed me through the TV screen, the movies that were on the TV about the demons.
Mm-hmm.
I read Revelations and fell asleep. I woke up and those demons that I read in that book was on that TV screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't a coincidence either. It wasn't a coincidence.
See, he had to show me because at the time I was young.
Right.
So, devil been trying to kill me since the day I was born.
Yeah, because you had something on your life.
Yes.
When you
Because
got something on your life, you're going to be attacked. Spiritual warfare is going to be there.
right, and they've been attacking me too,
Yeah.
just left and right.
But you kept going.
That's right. I kept holding on to Jesus'
That's
garment.
right. That's
I
right.
sure do. I still hold on to it to this day, and I ain't letting go.
That's right.
So as a child, I would that big, the big white Bible our moms always kept.
Yeah.
I would always look in that book, and there was pictures. I couldn't read, but then she had a picture in the living room of the Last Supper. I would stare at it, and in my bedroom, there was a picture of just his face, and the eyes
Yes.
would just stare at. I would just stare at him. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening, but he was covering me ever since,
Ever since.
because the way my life was, it was just pure chaos growing up.
Yes.
As a young lady, I should have been dead, being shot at a lot. One time, close range,
Oh my goodness.
got stabbed, deep gash, lost a lot of blood. I'm still here.
Oh, you still here. You
I,
still
uh,
here. You still here.
I have been ran over by a car, thrown down second floor, choked to death till I couldn't breathe no more. The abuse, the beatings, constantly over and over and over. We not supposed to question God,
Right.
but I often ask,
Why?
why me?
Why me? Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, why not you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ones who go through a lot, they got a huge calling on their life, especially if they're resilient and they're still pushing and going.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
we wonder
do.
why.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
Sometimes I often wonder what it is, but I know what it is. My heart
Yeah.
is so good
Yeah.
to
That's
people and to others. Some of those people that did me wrong, wish their heart was probably like mine.
it. And that was the whole thing. They might have had more than you, but when you have
Right? They
peace in
did.
your heart and your heart is good, people want that.
Yeah.
Can't no money and nothing
No
else.
amount of money can
No
buy
amount
that.
of money can buy that.
Can't even match it.
I was watching this YouTube, and this one rich man, he was on his deathbed, a
Yeah.
millionaire, and he said, they asked him, what would you say at your last days? He said, to have good health. He said, all this money don't mean nothing.
No.
He said, what you give out, you give back. He said, you treat
That's
people
right.
good, and
That's
that
right.
really is how your life will be. Lead with
That's
your
right.
heart. And and this man is a millionaire. He on his deathbed, and that's the advice that he gave.
And it's true, because there's no amount of money on this earth that can take away what God has gifted me with.
That's right. Nobody can take that
No
from you. They can
amount.
take everything else from
That's
you,
right.
but that right there, he can. Nobody can take that away. And
Can't
so
take away my dignity.
that's
Never.
right. That's right.
Never.
That's right. That's right. So we can close out, but I wanted to know, is there anything else that you might want to say, or a whisper of wisdom that you want to give to everybody, or anything else that you may want to talk about?
I just want to let everybody know, I know it's times get hard for everybody, I just want you to know that never, ever stop praying.
That's right.
Never stop praying.
Never stop praying.
Always have a little faith.
That
A lot
mustard
of
seed
faith,
up.
really.
Yeah.
Just keep the faith. Things will get better.
It will.
Just don't give up.
That's right.
Don't give up. Trouble don't last all the time.
Yeah.
Just keep your faith. Keep praying. Stay encouraged.
Yes.
Go to church. Find your church home.
Yes.
Get in there. But don't give up,
Right.
because only the strong survives.
And that is so true.
And if you need help, reach out to someone. I mean, I know a lot of us, we don't trust people sometimes because of everything we done went through or everything a lot of people done did to us.
Right.
But there is someone out there that you can trust. There is a lot of resources out there for women and children, men too, and battered women, whatever situation you're going through. Reach out to someone.
To somebody.
There's a,
Absolutely.
you can even call 211
Yeah.
for help if you need that. There is a crisis line. I don't have the number on me right now, but there is.
But 211, I do remember that number.
Yes, there's a crisis line you can call. They'll be right there for you. But always try to reach out and never give up on yourself.
Never give up on yourself. That's some good advice. Never give up on yourself.
Right.
Because we all matter.
Yes.
And we were born for a reason. All of us were born for a reason, and it was something that was placed inside of us at birth that we're supposed to do. And so everybody is important.
Yes.
Everybody's journey is important.
Yes, it is.
Mhm. Yep. So I'm gonna say thank you so much today for coming.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. It was a pleasure you coming out and telling your testimony. I know it's going to help so many people.
Yes.
You know, to let them know that they can overcome. And you're going to therapy, you know, it's helping you, you know, in some ways. Like we talk about prayer, finding somebody that you can talk to
Yes.
helps. And like you said, you want to get out and you want to reach out and help. So we're going to put your information up on the screen. That way, if people have resources and help that they, you know, if you want to come and help them,
Yes.
then we'll have that information up. So, well, like I always say, it takes a village, and I am too grateful to be quiet. So thank you for tuning in to Never Met a Stranger Whispers of Wisdom, and we will see you next time on the next episode. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.